if you try to sell something to everyone, you almost always end up selling nothing to anyone, right? And that's the opposite of what we want to do here. If you know your niche inside out, you will not run out of keywords, right? What's up folks, Jay from Jay's Way, and I'm back with another Etsy shop review. This is number 14, and as you know, I am not going to be stroking any egos. This is going to be, off the cuff, straight, honest, and kind of the way I wanted to keep it with you guys is pretty real, right? I'm not going to be somebody who's going to tell you the things that you're only doing right, because then it's just a big waste of time for both of us, right? If all I'm doing is stroking egos here. So just a disclaimer is that nothing I say will necessarily make you rich overnight. It's all about, applying what I know to have worked for me over the last 10 years and continues to work, how you apply that into your shop. This is obviously just Jay's Way. And I also wanted to say that this is all intended to be constructive, although I will be critical, but just know it comes from a place of love, be it tough love maybe at times, but I just want to see you all win. So what I want to do is show you areas where you can improve and not just keep doing, more of the same. Without further ado, I'm just going to reference my post here in my Facebook group that you guys can see here. I posted on December 27th. So if you want to join my Facebook group, you can come find me. It's facebook.com/groups, Etsy Print on Demand. You can just search Etsy Print on Demand. We're almost at 21,000 members. And I did post this on December 27th here. Ultimately, it's just that I'm excited to be back at doing these 8 to 10 minute shop reviews. The videos are usually a little longer because of the intro and kind of outro and recap. But what I will cover are first impressions, a quick and dirty analysis of a listing and its design, and a couple of quick tips that you can implement right now to improve your shop in Q1 onwards. That said, if you want to get your shop reviewed, you can come to find this post. It's actually featured, so you should see it right at the top, and just drop your shop down in the comments. I'm going to try to do at least one a week. I'm actually on pace to be doing 2 a week so far, but let's get right into it here. So JanuaryJuneCo, this is Brittany's. Yes, and Brittany's, and it looks like Carla's is going to be up next. So JanuaryJuneCo, I want to thank you, Brittany, for having the courage for letting me publicly review your shop. So I like the aesthetic I see here. We've got checkers, the pastels, they're definitely, trending. I like the colors. It kind of coincides with what I saw while doing some niche research that I have a video that I'll link to later. Let's see here. So we got trendy women's clothes. I'm seeing the yin and yang. We've got the checkerboard going throughout. This was hot last year. I don't see it going away. I think although colors will be changing. These are all popular right now. This looks good. The only thing I worry about right away is trendy women's clothes. So I know that the intent is to be literally trendy. All I mean by when I'm hesitant when I see words like that, it just means that if you're going to be chasing trends and doing whatever's popular, you're going to need 2,000 to 3,000 listings, and that's just the honest truth. So if you only have 175 sales and you're doing more of what's already out there because everybody's already doing this kind of thing, then you're sure as heck going to need like easy 2,000 designs. 1,500 to 3,000 is probably the number where you want to be, and you're also going to have to continually list, right? So you could have great designs, but if you're also one of 1,000 others that are doing this reading is my thing or whatever, like with that wavy font, you are now competing against a shop with a new listing here. You are now competing against a shop that potentially has thousands of sales, or all the other shops that have already gotten sales, and the validity, the consumer confidence is backed up by however many reviews they might have of that product already, right? So you're also going to have to pump ad dollars behind it. So that's all coming from right off the cuff first impression. So you are missing here 2 of the Etsy Star seller options, badges. So you're not answering messages quick enough, and you are also, it looks like, not getting things out in time. So make sure that you extend your shipping times. This could be fallout from, Christmas rush and delays and stuff like that, but that is also not whatever print provider's fault you're using. That is ultimately falling on your shoulders because you are the business owner. So if you notice any delays anywhere one time, make sure you account for that and bump out your shipping times as whatever you think is necessary. So if they're saying a 2 to 3 delay and they typically run 1 to 3 business days, instead of that 2 delay being a 1 to 5 business day now, I would absolutely bump that out by another 2 or 3 days on top of that. You can only update the due out time by once, so definitely don't sell yourself short and only add 2 days when it could actually take 3 days. I'm just going to click on here and see what we got. About, nothing to see here. Definitely fill that out. It all has to do with your shop relevancy score. Etsy has said that all these things will tick boxes in, how they rate shops for ultimately trust, right? Customer facing trust. So that said, original shirts, custom printed, especially for you. Are they original though? I hope they are. I'm seeing stuff that is trendy, and if it's trendy, it's not original. So it's kind of paradoxical or oxymoronish there. Just being honest with you. I do like the look of this. Your mock-ups here look great in terms of the contrast and what you can see. I can't read this. I don't know ASL, which is American Sign Language, I believe. If you can read this, you matter. That's great. But somebody who would obviously be versed in ASL would know. Most likely to never finish the book. Most likely to listen to the audiobook. Looks like audiophile stuff. Person behind me, I can still kind of see what this says. I would zoom in a little more on this so you can still see the hood. Kind of make the border here so that this is legible without having to click on it, because if you are paying for ads, you are now paying for that click on top of somebody being able to read ultimately everything that it says. And if they don't check out, it's going to kill your conversion rate if they're only clicking A to be able to see what it actually says, and B is that you've paid for that click now if you're running ads on top of that. So we're doubly screwed, I guess. Dear person behind me, Jesus loves you. So the contrast here looks good. Yeah, your color choices here look good. The images look great. Yeah, this looks good. You got enough contrast here. I would definitely get your size chart way up here, because people aren't necessarily going to go all the way through looking for a size chart if it's not there. So is that the size chart? Yeah, I would bump that up to like your second or third image, and then yeah, stagger these in. Love the shop, comfy, that's great. Each shirt is custom printed especially for you. Not vinyl. From an aesthetics perspective and psychological perspective, put this in brackets, remove the X's, and stick it like under here. Not vinyl, whatever, so that you see the green check marks first, not the red, just psychologically speaking. Other than that, designs are printed directly on the garment and will not crack. 100% original designs. So they are original designs, but they look similar to a lot of stuff out there, right? As far as what I've seen already. So like, for example, dear person behind me, Christian hoodie. Let's do that. So we've got yours here, and it's a different design. That is for sure. So that's kudos to that. However, you're still one of thousands of these, right? How many do we have here? 2,000. Let's see. The monthly revenue is there, I bet, because these are popular. Yeah, so you're going to want to be, competing with people that have thousands of sales. So this is, sometimes tough to do when you're not bringing something absolutely new to the game. So at least you've got the new aesthetic you're trying to go with. It's good news. I still feel like it's going to be an uphill battle because there's literally thousands and thousands of this, right? Maybe put this on a t-shirt. Do you have the option on a t-shirt? No, it's just hoodie here. I imagine you would have this on a shirt, right? Maybe that's where you can stand out. You don't have it on a t-shirt. So just checking that. Okay, so we've got all kinds here of sections. Moto mom shirts is different than mom shirts, is different than homeschool mom shirts. Crunchy moms, what is that? Fluff Butt University, that's great. It looks like a play of the Gallifrey University from, what's it called, Doctor Who, so that's kind of cool. These look good, like you're putting the work in and the designs look pretty good. Again though, I feel and fear, that's great. Yeah, high contrast, this looks great. I just fear that you're going to want to niche down, otherwise you're gonna need to grow this number exponentially and quickly. And that's the downside of not niching down at all, is that you're literally serving everybody. Book lovers, bibliophiles, sign language, honestly everything. You got everything, matching shirts too. It's going to be hard, and you're always going to be chasing. That's the problem. You're always going to be struggling for inspiration. You're going to be listing so many that you're probably going to burn out if you haven't already. You know that it's coming from a place of love. I'm worried that you're going to burn out because you're going to need a lot of help. You're going to need to outsource designs. You're going to need to get somebody maybe that you trust to sign in and keep listing for you, because you won't be able to do this all by yourself. It's a lot. And then if you try to rush it just to get stuff up to stay trendy, you're going to start taking shortcuts, right? And the designs may suffer, in which case that'll hurt your overall shop score anyway. Just gonna look at your sales here. Custom listing, Connie Klein. So this is custom, 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 custom. So ASL, custom, ASL, 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 custom, custom, custom. Your ASL stuff is working for you. I see that for sure. I would do that, and maybe bibliophile thing for sure, because those can easily be cross niche. Otherwise, it looks like you're doing a ton of custom. So the problem with custom is that if you're not using a software like Hello Custom, I hope you are, because that makes it all easier. And I'm going to have a video that is going to do a walkthrough with how to use Hello Custom for custom designs, because I do think that personalization is going to be a big wave to ride in 24. That said, if you're not doing that and you're doing all custom, it's going to be a ton of work for you on top of trying to stay relevant. So yeah, I would just honestly pick a niche or two. Like obviously you have a decent amount of designs in all of these. So are you the homeschool mom? What are the top 3? I would cut this down to 3 and focus there. Mental health hoodie, you important? World needs you interpreter. So this might want to say you're important. I'm not sure. People shop on Etsy to buy gifts for other people. So make sure that whoever's doing the shopping here, and what I remember last year was a stat from last year. It was like, I think it was like over 70% of the shoppers on Etsy identify as female between ages of 18 and 35 and are buying gifts for other people. So great if you're well versed in American Sign Language. If you are not, this is going to be a very hard gift to know. If you're buying it for somebody else, you're not going to know what it says. So maybe have like a little banner here to tell people what they say, right? Because does it say you important? Does it say be kind? The world needs you? I don't know what it says. I'm pretty confident it doesn't say all of this, but you never know, right? And like nobody's gonna read this if you do have it in here. Ultra soft, and that's generic. So the top of the description here, I would definitely make sure that your most relevant keywords, the front half of your title in some kind of sentence form here that is clear and concise, because this shows up in the Google search results. I'll show you what I mean here. When you get into the Google results, this is the stuff that will show up. So if, for example, we're looking at this listing, what you're gonna see here is you'll be cozy as can be in our ultra soft sweatshirts. That's what's gonna show up here. That doesn't tell anybody what the design is about or what it says, right? So you want it to be kind of unique to the design. Take a little time that way. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work if you've got thousands of listings to do, right? You're gonna wanna make sure that you've got that first few lines of that paragraph related to keywords that are relevant to the listing itself, to the design itself. If we look here, inspirational hoodie, competition is pretty big. Motivational shirt, competition is massive. Funny sign language, ASL student, so low search and low competition. Your shirt is gonna show up for people searching for Tomorrow Needs You. It's gonna show up for ASL teacher gift. It's gonna, broad match for teacher gift. It's gonna broad match for Be Kind shirt, not just ASL. So if you do exact match for all these, which one is it, right? Like if you're gonna show up for all of those, which one is this? It's just impossible for anybody to know. Proud mom of a fluff butt. What is this? What is a fluff butt? Cloth diaper lover gift. Okay, crunchy mama. What is crunchy mama? I have to search this. Is this? I don't know what that means. What is a crunchy mom? Crunchy mama sounds like it's its own niche, but if you're, socially conscious, environmentally and health conscious, question conventional norm, more natural way of life. Again, I don't know what Christian has to do with any of that. So just be conscious of what you're mixing, because if somebody wants to be naturopathic and they're not Christian, you're going to put them off, right? If they think it's Christian centric, or, they could be conflicting. I'm not sure if they are, but they very likely could be conflicting. Christian homeschooling, is it a Christian homeschooling sweatshirt? I mean, be specific and be relevant, right? With your keywording and your SEO, because you're going to show up for Christian homeschooling sweatshirt. And if people aren't cloth diapering their kids, so Christian homeschooling sweatshirt, what do we have? Retro classical conversations. Motherhood is my ministry. Of course, you show up here. Mom's Academy homeschool. Keep homeschool weird. Homeschool, right? Like you're showing up here as a proud mom of a fluff butt. So not to say that homeschoolers aren't cloth diapers, but if you show up for this and somebody's looking for homeschooling, Mama's Academy or motherhood ministry, homeschooling, and you're showing up for that, no one's going to click on your stuff. So that's going to tell Etsy to stop showing your stuff in search results for those terms, right? Let's see what we got. Actually, let's analyze here. Christian shirt, of course. See, it's just a loaded keyword that I don't think necessarily works with the design. Cloth diaper cover. What does that even mean? I don't know. Volume is low. Competition is also low. I don't think it's a cloth diaper cover. It could be, but yeah, copied. What does this one say? Breastfeeding t-shirt. Okay. So yeah, your keywords are way off the mark. This is not a breastfeeding t-shirt, right? Probably part and parcel with trying to list so many things because you're doing everything trendy. This is where I say you're taking shortcuts. You're probably duplicating listings or whatever, using a template and then just throwing the same stuff up without going through and editing stuff, right? Proverbs, Bible verse, gift, God is good. I would put a delimiter here, like a comma or another pipe, so that it breaks it up a bit. That way you can exact match in Etsy's algorithm. So check out this video here on how tags and titles work for Etsy, and you'll know what I mean and why commas or at least any kind of delimiter is important. That said, religious apparel for woman sleeve. So like, make it make sense, right? Like you want it to be Christian Mother's Day sweatshirt for, you could say, a homeschooling mom, or Christian sweatshirt for Mother's Day. Christian Mother's Day sweatshirt, that works here. Far more precious than jewels. I would actually have that the next thing here, because Proverbs Bible verse, I don't know if people are searching for that. And ultimately, you're only going to exact match right here because there's no comma or delimiter of any kind. You're going to only exact match for Proverbs Bible verse, gift, God is good shirt, more precious than jewels, all of it, right? And you definitely want more precious than jewels to be on its own, right? So let's look here. Proverbs Bible verse. Yeah, you're going to show up for all kinds of different options here. So if I was to show up for, all kinds. So you're going to show up in a sea of ones. And if you're not specific enough, then like if people are looking for far more or more precious than jewels, let's see, this could be a winner here. So shirt. Yeah, so this keyword looks like it works. 412 results. That's probably a good one, but you're losing the exact match if people are looking for that because it's a run-on sentence here. So, it sucks to see, but it's an easy change, right? These are things that can improve your SEO to help you get spotted by the people looking specifically for that quote. So midwife, let's see what we got here. Labor and delivery. You might have found a good niche here. Childbirth educator, if that's what that is. These numbers are good here. You're almost 50% of the competition in terms of people looking. That is could be a good win here, sub niche that you found. So Crunchy Mama, I think it's just too new. I think you should stick with it. It might be hotter in 2024. The competition is still small, so it tells me that not a lot of people are onto this one yet, but the search volume is still low, unfortunately. So I think this might be kind of the niche where you want to go. You seem to be on top of trends in that respect. So maybe, steer yourself in that kind of direction, right? Yeah, I think my main takeaway for you, like you're putting in the work. I just want to see you again move that needle with the right kind of work. Mom shirts alone, super generic. Like what are we getting into? Home sweet home birth. That would be its own section for sure. Midwife shirts. Why is that not in the midwife shirt one? Midwifery, I like that design. Looks good. These mom shirts that have to do with home birth, typically you'd have a midwife or a doula there, right? I imagine. So you could condense these right away and make it easier for people to find exactly what they're looking for. That's great. That's a good design. It looks, traditional. It's a spin on some brewery stuff. Slow down, put the blinders on, and try to stick with 2 or 3 niches. Your ASL one is really working. It seems like, based on your sales. And then kind of any of these you're really, really passionate about, then add 2 or 3 more, because you can always cross niche. But when people say you don't need to niche down, I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about here. We've seen some shortcuts that you were taking, it looks like, with duplicating listings, or you're just keyword stuffing because you're out of unique keywords for those designs. If you know your niche inside out, you will not run out of keywords, right? I have the problem where I don't have enough character allotment, so then I have to kind of cut down the keywords. You can even ask AI, ChatGPT or something, to give you keywords relevant to the design itself. Describe the design and ask for keywords, right? They might not always hit the mark, but you'll at least have something in the same vein and tell them what niche it is, right? This is the problem I think I have with people who preach that you don't need a niche, is that in the beginning, if you don't know what niche you want to go into, I understand, try a few and see what works, but is it a path forward? Only if you have the manpower and resources to build a team, to create designs, to help upload, because it's just too much for one. I have a couple of shops with like 20,000 sales, and neither of them has more than 250 designs. One has 3 niches that you can kind of combine, and another one is a single niche. I mean, it works, right? One of those badges where it says people come back, people return or buy gifts from the shop, right? That's the kind of stuff you want to be able to leverage all Etsy's free advertising stuff. So I feel like if you're stuck doing all this custom stuff, or if it's all custom and you're going back and forth with them, because ideally you want them to have purchased before you begin work on a custom design, so you're not working fruitlessly, or they change their mind, after you've done the work and haven't paid you yet, then you run the risk of, you know, going past your elapsed timelines, right? So maybe even bump out your processing times on the custom stuff by like 2 weeks if it's going to take you that long, right? Otherwise, yeah, I just want to see you win. But that's it. A little more focus, I think you can go a long way. Again, I just don't want to see you spread too thin and burn out. That's going to be a problem inevitably if you are just targeting all kinds of niches, because ultimately, like I've said it before, people disagree with me, but what I've learned in my 10 years is if you try to sell something to everyone, you almost always end up selling nothing to anyone, right? And that's the opposite of what we want to do here. So if you can just kind of focus your work in the right direction, you know, you'll see a lot of results really quickly, because it's apparent that you have the time to put in. So make it count in a way that'll be fruitful for you going forward for the rest of the year. Again, I want to thank you so much for your courage. This is, you know, it takes guts to put yourself out there. So kudos to you for taking that step. Thank you so much. If you guys want to get your shop reviewed, please again come visit my Etsy Facebook group here. Again, it's Etsy Print on Demand. You can just search Etsy Print on Demand and you'll see this big orange banner here, and you can come to this post with my mug on it and drop your shop in the description. That's it. We'll see you in the next one.